Esports versus Navi. And when we're going into the matches with
placement, we'll see if that's going to be enough to topple a team like Navi, as the first attack is now underway by Ttp Esports. It's Skyrez marching on the ground with 5 Root Riders, 8 Valkyries, 3 Druids, and an interesting hard commit to this right side corner, starting off with these heroes.
It is going to be a big march through this base with 5 Root Riders, 7 Valkyries, a pretty standard composition. One thing we do see variance on is always the amount of overgrowth spells. Skyrez electing to go with 2 overgrowth spells here, which can be sometimes a little bit more risky, but it looks like he's electing to get this Town Hall out early. So I think those overgrowths are actually going to be used in the middle of the base to shut down some of those hard-hitting defenses.
You got a split with his P.E.K.K.A.s coming out of the Siege Barrack on top, and that means that those wizards are not going to be protected from the Archer Queen firing away on defense. He's running a little bit out of steam on that outside edge, but the big main army is going to power through and keep him toward that Eagle Artillery. Single target Inferno over on the right side of the base is not shut down with an overgrowth spell, and that could be a little bit tiresome for those Archer Queens. The ability forced out there. I've got to be very careful. He pops the invisibility spell to keep them safe, and we'll be able to refocus onto the main army now. He's already used his Grand Warden ability, and so most of the defensive support for this army has been committed. Still has 1 overgrowth spell left, and as you mentioned, Bash, that's one of the most important decisions in a big ground-based army like this. Do you expect to see him pop it again soon?
Yeah, it's going to go in right now. There it is right now, taking out that Ricochet Cannon and the Multi-Inferno. Also, not allowing that Poison Spell Tower to go ahead and regenerate a new spell. Queen needs to hang on here on the right. If she does, he's going to be looking good. I think he's looking fine anyways, because he has the Royal Champion ability, and really, he's going to have a lot of force left when that Overgrowth does wear off. So this should be the first 3-star of the matchup for Ttp Esports, and Skyrez gets it done with a double Overgrowth trouncing of this base.
He was not worried in the slightest, and even though the Queen was taking a beating, he still had plenty of Root Riders. Look at all those hogs still helping out as well. The Royal Champion looking healthy through, things evenly matched. He's bringing a massive balloon army here with just 1 Lava Hound out in front to protect for them, starting off with a Queen Walk in the left side and a Flame Flinger to get even more long-range shots off. That Archer Queen is tanking for the Flame Flinger, keeping that cannon fire off of it, but she's gotten awfully low. Only has to deal with a Mortar and an Expo shooting at her now, and doesn't have to pop the ability or use any spells yet. Gaku is edging this initial assault to perfection, Bash.
Yeah, the Queen's doing a great job managing all those defenses, and then that Flame Flinger will actually be able to go over and take out the multi-target Inferno. Great use of the Invis to redirect the Queen exactly where you wanted her to, into that single target Inferno to get that down. This is just a perfection from Gaku here, taking out the rocket balloons with the poison, using the poison to also slow down those ice golems so the rocket balloons are dealt with. Now the Royal Champion joining the Queen. This setup is looking fantastic.
Yeah, this is glorious and perfect timing on these rage spells to support the Queen. Gaku, well known for his Queen charges, able to get the Queen topped back off with the healers using the rage, and then able to take down defenses like that Inferno Tower before that energy beam can really start to do massive damage. The Queen is just perfectly positioned to tear through this entire left side of the base, and with the rest of the army ready to deploy at any moment, Gaku is still holding on to the Grand Warden to support this massive push. Here they come from the right side, now catches a few Teslas on the outer edge, and he is really happy about the spread that he's got on these balloons so far. They're taking a lot of damage, and I'm wondering why he didn't pop his ability earlier. He just lost a lot of balloons there, Bash.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about that too. He lost most of the balloons he deployed initially there. He still does have 5. There's not too much that can hit the balloons. The main thing is going to be that multi-archer tower and the monolith here, but the Queen is going to be right onto that multi-archer tower, taking it down. And then he's got a ground expo over there with the air defense on the far side. So if he can get just a few of these defenses thinned out, he's got super minions coming out of the clan castle.
Nice.
This should be nice for Gaku. A little bit of a worry there for a second, but ultimately it was all calculated and went exactly how he wanted it to.
Absolutely was. This was an overkill, with the Queen still looking very healthy, and 45 seconds for her to round out any difficult spots on the inside of the base. Flying troops do not have to worry about walls, and that makes cleanup attack has he brought. It's on the ground again. More Root Riders and Valkyries sensing a weakness on the ground, and with another double overgrowth, it seems that TTP Esports really have a specific attack strategy in mind for this weekend, Bash.
And if you remember when we were playing more in the faster speed meta, as we called it, the double overgrowth Root Rider attack was considered more of the safer approach with this strategy. Now, I think Warman is going to be taking the riskier approach here, as I say that, with the double overgrowth and maybe overgrowthing near the Town Hall with the multi-arch tower. This can be very risky because a lot of that force can get depleted. And oh my goodness, that was a barrage of air bombs taking out all the healers that pop for the Queen. She still has one healer there, but that's definitely going to take out some of the support as the Roots are now joining the party.
Yeah, the left lane assault from that Queen charge was definitely baited, and Stars knew exactly how to try to shut down that Queen. I don't know if it's going to be enough, frankly, because even with the healers gone, that Archer Queen's going to be behind the Root Riders and the Druids for the most part. After she takes down this multi-archer tower, it looks like she's still going to be kind of safe on the bottom side. And with a rage spell to commit to the main army, this is going to be a massive sweeping assault from the top side all the way back down to the Town Hall. Still holding on to that second overgrowth spell and ready to shut off the Town Hall and the Monolith as soon as danger rears its ugly head. There we go with another setup, this time going to leave that Grand Warden statue vulnerable. Those Root Riders have had to go all the way to the far outside edge of the base, but they are soon going to make their way back in, Bash.
This is what I was talking about with the risk. I think Warman is fine here. He's got plenty of force. He still gets the Royal Champion. Also, a little bit of spell support, but ultimately leaving that Town Hall for the end is so risky. It is literally going to be one of the last two defenses along with that Monolith. Freeze does come in. Here comes an... Oh, no! He made the Town Hall invis, Woody. The Royal Champion pops her ability. She's going to path around here. She's going to go in for the Town Hall. Let's see if she can get it down. She does. Oh, maybe. Yeah, there she goes.
Oh, she'll get it, but she's going to take a lot of damage from the Giga Bomb. Can she finish off this Monolith before it gets a target onto her? The Root Riders are making their way in. There's nothing left to block. It's going to get a shot off, but the invisibility from the Spirit Fox keeps her safe. With only 2% left, the last little bit of cleanup is easy pickings, and Warman has done it after all. A 3-star, 100%.
Yada's coming in. Yada Bowler coming in with the Super Bowler Smash. Kind of his signature attack, and this attack can really do some damage in a base here. I'm trying to look at why he may have gone with the Super Bowlers over, say, Super Witches and Electro Titans, and nothing really stands out at me. That core is kind of compact in there, so if he can get the Bowlers in there bouncing around with that extra bounce, it can deal out a lot of damage. But you'd like to say like Super Witches and the Electro Titans might have been able to do the same, staying away from the Poison Tower, but ultimately he chooses the Super Bowlers, and let's see how it works out for him.
Huge assault from this Grand Warden up top, and with healers and a Frosty just to give him a little bit more safety from these defenses firing away. Yada has committed a lot of time to this top corner trying to take this Eagle artillery down so that it does not deal the splash damage onto the Super Bowlers after their deploy. They can get a lot of splash damage on their own, but they require a lot of precision in their placement, needing to get that big boulder over walls and crashing into as many buildings as possible. Yada is spending a lot of time on the setup here, and that's a little bit atypical for a Super Bowler Smash, which can go quickly depending upon the wall shape here, but this base just seems like it's going to be tough to crack into. He's going from the right side corner and will now make his way into the first line of defenses, Bash.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the time. He took a little bit over 1:10 there for that Warden Walk, which is a little bit longer than you'd like to see, but those Bowlers with that extra bounce can deal out some nice damage. Not to mention that Flame Flinger is still working up top. He does have everything working through the middle. He has the jump in, rage, all the Bowlers are going, but the Ice Golems do freeze everything up. Beautiful freeze of his own. Now the King with the Spiky Ball Earthquake should be able to weaken everything up there. Nice. Town Hall falls, and everything's looking good so far.
Great timing on that Grand Warden's Eternal Tome. Very careful to protect that ability until he needed it most when that Town Hall Gigabomb was going to go off. I was a little bit worried that some of the Super Bowlers were pathing toward the outside, but they just had to deal with one of the archers from the clan castle in order to be able to get back to the interior. The last invisibility spell is dropped, and as those Super Bowlers will now engage the enemy RC, they're going to take a few shots from her. Loses one of the Super Bowlers, and there's still just one left on the top side helping that Grand Warden out. Grand Warden gets distracted. He wants to go help out the Yetis instead, and now that it means that the X-Bow, supercharged and locked on, is going to deal a lot of damage. Doesn't quite take him out thanks to that last free spell dropped. That'll allow those defenses to retarget and keep the Grand Warden safe a tiny bit longer. But in the end, the Archer Queen overkill and the Royal Champion still standing is just a perfect edging job from Yada. 10 seconds left in this attack, but the 3 stars is secured, Bash.
Yeah, the time was a
2-star range. We'll see if Javi can keep it together with a very difficult, compact base setup by Kazuma. Lots of interior compartments to deal with. And so in order to respond to that, he's going to have to bring in a jump spell. He's got a couple of earthquakes. The big bomb getting dropped on the bottom. Giant fireball and earthquakes will shatter that compartment. And he got some good value out of taking out that bottom side, but there's still a lot of base left. Crucially, a massive monolith right in the core. The juicy center of this base is going to be tough to tear down. And with so many big, heavy troops like Electro Titans and heroes that he's relying on, he's going to have to be very careful to shut that down with the 3 freeze spells that he's brought, Bash.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Only 2 Electro Titans on this. Kind of more of the approach we saw from Synchronic on their World Championship run. They were only bringing 2 and 3 Electro Titans and just kind of leaning on the support to keep those Electro Titans up and powering through the base. We do see a couple super minions get pulled out of the clan castle, along with now 3 rocket balloons, which can definitely shut down some defenses. Let's see what they target in here. So far it's looking good, but he's got to get that clan castle under control, and he does just now.
Freezes the interior, shutting down a single Inferno and the Monolith at the same time as those troops are making their way to this inside. Monolith is eliminated with the Earthquake Boots from the King. Those big compartments are all cracked wide open like an egg. Javi is taking a big bite out of this base, and Kazuma has got to be worried on defense because there's not a whole lot left to keep him out of the left corner. The final last line of defense with still 2 hero abilities to drop. Javi's holding on to that last freeze spell as well and is looking cleared for landing. This seems like a crushing 3-star to me, Bash.
The yoke is running down, and this one's definitely going to be a 3-star with the Royal Champion coming in with ability, Queen and ability. This is going to be a nice 3-star, a great selection of attack. There goes the Royal Champion's ability. The Hogs, the Rocket Spear are going to go ahead and pound through these last few defenses, and Ttp Esports with another 3-star. But not only that, Woody, another quick 3-star. They will find themselves even further in the lead on time.
I love to see this choice by Navi of setting up all of the air bombs in one little compartment. Dragon Pro Series Season 6 World Championship up for grabs, but they got to stay perfect, and they got to start worrying a little bit about time. With 3 triples already from their opponents, this time deficit that Navi is working against is going to start weighing on their minds. Huge balloon assault in this next strike, Bash, with 14 regular loons and 22 rocket loons. Expect to see a massive giant fireball coming in from this Grand Warden, as triple earthquake will help to shut down a core component of this base. But the Archer Queen's ability forced on the bottom suggests that he's not going to have much to commit left to her, just an invisibility spell to stay up a little bit longer. Where's this Grand Warden going to come in at, Bash?
I think he's going to try to get the clan castle out in the middle. He's just using the queen to set up here. I think the queen going to ability was kind of early there. He doesn't have any healers in the initial army comp, so I think he wanted to get those healers out along with those other queens cloned up there. And really, the queen looks like she's just in charge of setting this up, and here it comes. The fireball to awaken the town hall. He's going to go for the town hall, Woody. Boom! It lands in there, but he doesn't get the town hall down. Another earthquake comes in, does finish off that clan castle, but the battle builders are actually healing up the scatter shots, so missing those scatter shots could be devastating for Kazuma. Oh no, this could definitely be a little bit of a risk here, as those scatter shots are starting to get a lot more healthy.
Well, that is an understatement of the year, Bash. This was a massive risk, and it seems like it did not pay off. Not able to take out the two most important defenses on the base, and still seeing the Town Hall standing up. He's got to put a lot of hope into this battle blimp, making its way toward the center, but it pops early to take out that top compartment. Royal Champion charges through and is happy to find that the scatter shots have not been fully repaired yet, but one is locked onto her. Her spear takes down the Town Hall, and it's going to lock onto that enemy scatter shot. The Barb King is not close enough to counter, and that should be a kill. The Spirit Fox doing everything she can, and there it goes. The scatter shot down is great news for Kazuma, who can breathe a sigh of relief now. These exterior buildings are much less frightening to tear apart with balloons high in the sky. No more defenses left, Bash, and that's a swag freeze or two onto the King. Zuma smiling happy at the camera as there's nothing left. But quick follow-up with that Royal Champion did tear that base down. Bunch from TTP Esports finds the time getting closed a little bit. That gap is just a bit more narrow after that last strike from Navi, and he recognizes that not only a triple but another one in quick timing is what is expected of him now. Grand Warden of his own out on the right side is going to take a few shots from this air defense. Electro Owl going down early is not great news for Bunch, but as long as the entry for this Grand Warden is still clean, it looks like not much to worry about with the healers topping it back off. That will be an early shot at the enemy Eagle Artillery, taking down a crucial long-range defense early on and setting up for this Electro Titan smash to follow up, Bash.
And he's got the siege barracks down there at the bottom side. You see those two P.E.K.K.A.s out along with all of those wizards, and he's just doing a great job being patient and setting this one up. First wall breaker goes in, opens up the ricochet cannon. I don't think that the P.E.K.K.A. is going to be able to get that, but with the Expo going down, the Warden's now going to get pulled aside here with the Queen. He'll join her to walk in towards that ricochet cannon, and the setup here is looking really nicely done. He does have a long ways to go on this base, but I like what he did here with this initial Warden walk.
Ice Golem does get flung off by a spring trap, and he's got to watch this Queen now. The single target Inferno is locked onto her. She does get a few shots off, but the Queen goes almost all the way down. She's sitting in a poison and needs those healers to top her back off. The Black Bomb takes one of them down. Thank goodness that the King is out in front now to soak a few more shots, but with Scatter Shot locked on, that could be some splash damage on her backside. Take a look now at the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome protecting the core of this assault right into the middle, hoping that the Electro Titan can take out the scatter shot. He just does. Then there's another big core of this base to take out now. Monolith and two Inferno Towers, Bash. That is going to be a lot of damage to deal with. And the Earthquake Boots Spiky Ball. Boy, what a hit, Bash.
He does a great job opening up the base, but he still has a long way to go here. He is not out of the woods as the Town Hall is not down, and essentially all he really has left here are the heroes. He does have a couple of spells here, a freeze and a couple of invises still in his pocket, but ultimately some of these heroes need to go over and get this Town Hall down. They're dealing with every building but the Town Hall. Queen's starting to make her way over there, but she's taking a lot of damage. Here we go. Queen will finally get over and lock onto the Town Hall and get it down. Royal Champion to ability. She's getting low on health. I don't know if he's got enough gas left in this tank, Woody.
Oh, he gets the 1 and the 2 star, but the Royal Champion on the top side is getting distracted by Skellies, and there's still a lot of base left on the bottom side. I think you're right, Bash. This is starting to look ever more like our first defense of the day. Bunch is just left without any more offense. In alert with 5 seconds left, we do now see our first defense. A 2-star 85% from TTP Esports is going to Titans. There's just kind of no excuse for that. You need either more spell support or more damage to be able to chew through those big targets quickly. In this case, Navi's defenses were superb, and that was an excellent base to emulate for future attacks. For future base designers, rather. Next up, we've got Stars, who wants to keep this attack above 2-star 85%, and preferably get a triple to make the last attack from his team even easier. Starting off with the Grand Warden walk on the left side. That Grand Warden is getting awfully low, but healers are still keeping him up, Bash.
Yeah, he's hanging on for dear life, ultimately getting through that cannon, and Archer Tower alleviates enough of that pressure that he's able to get back up to full health. Here comes that fireball in onto the single target Inferno, and that Expo along with dealing damage to that Royal Champion, she's able to be finished off, and this is set up really, really nicely. But you did bring up a great point there. Navi now have a lot of wiggle room. They can afford to miss, and as long as it's anything above an 85%, they will still be in the lead. So out of these two attacks, they really just have to 3-star once and have just really kind of an average pro attack, where we usually see the percentage in the 90%. So if they can do just that, they will get the victory. Now, as for TTP, assuming this does not go their way, this is not an elimination matchup. They will just move down to our lower bracket, so they are not going to be out of our tournament, just to clarify that.
Early catch with that tornado trap will prevent Stars from getting spun around on the inside of the space. And you're right that these super witches are expected to go the distance, as it were, in this attack. I do not think that he's worried much about percentage, just instead about keeping them on the right target. Unfortunate that it looked like he lost one of his super witches a little bit early on here, Bash. Is that going to be a problem for him since he's just barely on the outside? I mean, they're going so slow to start off.
I think this is a big problem, because not only did he lose a witch, he lost the warden. I think he lost a couple of witches there. He lost the warden. The king goes to ability here. He's going to have to jump to get the queen in. I don't think this is going the way the Stars had hoped it would go. Now we have ice golems coming out of the clan castle. This one is under a little bit of pressure. There's only one super witch in there. The king now going to Phoenix. This is going to be tough. This could actually miss here, and it could miss very big. We have to keep an eye on this one, as he's running out of gas.
There's just no solid entry point for the town hall except for the royal champion. He's put all of his hopes behind her. She's going to target onto the mortar first, the battle builder next, the scatter shot after that, and then get a shot at the town hall. Pops the ability to get those hogs out in front, and will be tossing a long range rocket spear. Got to get the lock in. There she goes. Half damage left on the town hall. She's only got half health.
Whoa!
Barely gets the town hall down. Now, can we pass that 85% mark? That is what Stars needs. 85% damage done by his opponent. If he can't tie that up, Stars will fall behind.
84?
Navi reaches 84, but
the witch isn't going to get there.
85.
It's going to be 84.
Can't make it.
Oh,
TTP have defended against one of the best attackers in the game.
To tied this one all up, but now Doyer can come in and put this war away. Any 3-star wins the war for TTP Esports, and it's an old school queen charge hybrid for TTP.
A fraction of a percent separates TTP and Navi, but as you said, TTP's future is now in their hands. A 3-star here and now guarantees victory. Will Doyer be able to deliver with an impressive hybrid setup that we don't see very often anymore in town?
That queen.
What's that queen doing, Bash?
She went to ability. That ricochet cannon was too much. His wall breakers weren't complying with his demands. They finally get in there, but he had to use every single wall breaker. Now the monolith is on the queen. She already went to ability. He's got to use some more support here. Uses the invis to keep that queen alive. The big thing with the queen charge hybrid attack is keeping your queen alive as long as possible. Now the hogs and miners are in. He's going to have to use that warden ability. Giant bombs are out. Rocket balloons are in. Super minions. It's all on the line for Doyer.
And he has committed so much offense to this attack already, holding on to us.
Who's the warden, man?
And 3 for the bottom. He still does have the warden, but I don't know. That's a lot of damage about to get dished out in the top side of the space. There's no more spells left. He's just really throwing everything at this base. Can he keep those hogs and miners alive through this top core with a scatter shot firing away at him?
I thought those hogs and miners were roasted in there, but he does save that warden ability till the very end to get to the town hall, but he's not out of the woods yet. The world champion goes down. He's got some hogs and miners. The queen is under fire, but look at that pack of miners up there, Woody. Yeah, the single's there. He's got a bomb tower. There's no more spell support. Remember that bomb tower is gonna drop a bomb in there. I don't know that this one has enough. It's close.
I think he does.
It's close.
I think he might have this one, Bash. He's got to get through a wall over on the right side to get this queen back into the action, but the Grand Warden still looks very healthy. Only point defenses along the outer edges, and although there's no tanks now for those wizards, he's going to be able to get that last cannon down. That's more cleanup for him. As soon as his queen can crack through the last compartment, she should be able to access the rest of these defenses and take it down. The Grand Warden and healers are still safe, and it looks like Doyer is on his way to a triple.
Hold on, Woody. He's still got 30 seconds. I don't want to jinx it too early here. He's got the Queen. He's got the Warden. He should have the firepower here as the Warden takes a pot shot there at the gold storage. 4 more buildings after that gold storage. Wizards are in there tanking. It doesn't matter about tanking. Queen's got enough health. He's got 15 seconds.
Yes!
He's got 13 seconds. The Queen is moving. Ttp Esports will get the victory over Navi with an House going to come in with a Lalo to finish this one off. A Zap Lalo is really fun to watch. An old school meta attack. And when this is done right, it is so good to watch.
You can see the equipment brought here includes a spiky ball, 2 books that the Grand Warden has pulled out of the library to keep these troops healthy and happy as long as possible. Heroes going in on the top side now. We'll get an easy funnel along the clockwise edge of this base, tearing that Eagle artillery apart before it even gets a chance to activate. And you're right, Bash, this is a beautiful, fun, old school style attack to get watch set up. Log launcher now ready to roll as it's going to tear through so many compartments in the inside of this base and get those heroes very close to the center. Ought to be able to get the CC pull out as well. And with that log launcher rolling through the monolith, it's just the spiky ball that's going to be able to finish off the monolith now. That right side has just taken an absolute beating, and with the hero abilities popping now, Klaus's entry is looking superb.
It's so crazy to watch what pro players can do to a base. The way they're able to manipulate the base with just a log launcher and heroes is absolutely insane and such a thing of beauty. These heroes just absolutely dominated the whole top side of the base along with that log launcher getting through the monolith, and now all he's literally got to do is send the Lalo through the town hall, and this one should all but be done so as Klaus is looking to get some momentum going into their next matchup. They can't win this one, but they do want to go out with their heads held high and move into their lower bracket matchup with a little bit of momentum on their side.
Interesting to see super miners popping out of the clan castle. They're trying to give a little bit of problems for the ground-based portion of this assault, but Loon's flying high, and with a lava hound that may not even pop, Klaus is absolutely dominating this base with a certainty of a 3-star, and just have to be a little bit disappointed that it wasn't the same case with the rest of the attacks. We're getting a close-up of his thumb there as he's showing us the goods, giving us every bit of confidence that this was a walk-off performance from Navi. To remember, Klaus knows that in the lower bracket now, Navi will have to contend with some very difficult matches ahead of them, but still their chances at a world championship title this year are alive. The lower bracket is not elimination, but what elation it is for TTP to be moving ahead on the upper end.
Yeah, and this has kind of been the story of Navi's run here. It's always just like one,
except for in that 4th line of attack, where 2 stars and only a single building decided the